And then on top of that, you got Magic McConaughey screaming in your ear.
Yeah, well, Matthew's coaching by then.
You got to do this, Vince. You got to do this. Like, hey, we got it.
Now let's see what the USC defense can do with Vince Young. They've got a 12-point lead, but that is nowhere near the neighborhood of safe. Young slips a little, coming back. There's daylight. Here he goes. Touchdown.
Never seen anybody like him in my life.
So it's now on the cozy. 38-33, a 5-point lead for Southern California. 4th and 1. Game's on the line right here.
He didn't get it. Texas football.
Texas trailed in this ball game, 38-26. Now they are getting close to having a chance to win it.
Put the ball in number 10's hands and let him win the game for you, as he's done so many times.
He's about to go out and lead the national championship winning drive. You're on the sidelines. What did he say to you before he went out?
Well, to set the stage for that, first of all, I mean, I was probably annoying for Vince my freshman year. Anytime he was in the film room, I was there. Anytime he was throwing out in 7-on-7, I was listening to the play call. I mean, I was everywhere. Anywhere he was, I told him, I said, I'm going to be right there with you. He called me, you know. And I don't know if Vince remembers, but the national championship, we get the ball, we stop him short on 4th down, we get the ball, we got to go score. The quarterback's kind of getting a little huddled, hear the play call from upstairs, and, you know, Vince and I were close at that time, and he said something along the lines of, hey, you know, we're about to go win this thing. You watch and learn. You're going to be in this spot someday. And you know, I'll never forget that moment. You know, I came back to the sideline. I had more confidence than anybody in that whole stadium that number 10 was going to get the job done, and I couldn't wait to watch.
That moment to me is like everything flashed in front of me from freshman year all the way up to that moment that we was going out to win the game. We already knew we was going to win it because the confidence that the team had, the coaches had, the fans had. I mean, everybody was extremely high. And when our defense came to the sideline, they was, you know, Michael Huff, like, what y'all gonna do now? They was talking A-Smack. We was like, wow. So you know, when I got in that huddle, I just told the guys, hey, just play our game, what we've been doing the whole game. Don't try to do nothing spectacular, none of that. Just stay into our assignment. Let's just get down the field. Just continue to keep these first down. Coach Brown, Coach David, they know how to handle the clock. We already know how they're gonna do the clock, but just get down here and take care of our responsibility. And that was the whole thing, is protect the ball. That was mainly what's our thing, was reserve the right to kick. It was always our thing when we get, you know, in the 20.
Yeah, you never liked that.
Yeah,
you and Cole always said,
no.
Every time I'd say it, they'd roll their eyes and look at me like, you don't want us to score? I mean,
like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
But Texas and Mack Brown, they've got to get in the end zone.
And here comes their man, Vince Young, onto the field. Minute and 35 seconds to play. He throws to the sidelines. The pass is completed, but it is short of the first down.
A flag comes in.
Incidental face mask. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Vince Young throws on a slant. Ball caught. Young's going to run with it. Oh, he stepped right through a tackle. Trojans have got to make a defensive play or they're going to lose. Thrown short underneath. Brian Carter, and they're inside the 20 at the 14. Incomplete. 39 seconds. Gonna run it. Gets inside the 10 to the 9. Where it is 3rd down and 5. It's up to the Trojan defense now. Incomplete. 4th and 5, the national championship on the line right here. He's going for the corner. He's got it. Vince Young scores.
You can have the perfect defense called. You can force him out of the pocket, but you're not going to beat him. Invincible. Nobody has ever had a game like
That moment was, you know, like like you said, like one of the biggest moments, you know, I can, you know, say as a memory for the love that I have respect for these guys that's sitting right here in front of you, as well as guys that's not here. But that moment, and like, because all the stuff we have been through from tour days, from working out, from waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I mean, just getting beat up by Mad Dog, you know? And that moment, you know, it was like a beautiful moment because it was like our moment.
Texas has defeated Southern California 41-38 to win the national championship of college football.
Well, we heard some of the memories of that Rose Bowl win, the national championship from Texas, from some of the great players in Texas history. I just remember being there, down by 12, looking at the clock, about 6:40 left, trying to figure out how it was physically possible for you guys to come back when someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, remember who Vince Young plays for. Texas. Fortunately, it was for you. That 4th and 5 play, one of the defining plays of Texas history. Take us through how this actually set up and how it worked, Coach.
Well, first of all, you have to think that most of the players on both sides of the ball here played in the NFL, and most of them are still playing. They're going to blitz us. They've got a nickel defense in. They're bringing the backside safety, number 36, which you can see. They drop the end with Selvin Young, who runs an underneath route. And the key to this play is Justin Blaylock at right guard, sits back. He would normally have the end. They thought that 36 would be free, but you see Justin Blaylock to Vince's right here. He lets the end go. He takes the safety on the blitz. They lose contain because Selvin's coming up inside. And this was a pass that was called. He's looking to see what's there. When he didn't see what he wanted, he used his feet like he did so many times to become one of the best players and put us in one of the best moments in Texas football history.
Come on. Did you ever think he was going to throw the ball there?
Well, we told him to look quick, and if you don't see what you want, then you need to go throw it.
It's something that people forget about when it comes to that team that won the 4th championship in program history. It wasn't just Vince Young. You mentioned the guys like Selvin and Justin around him that set up some of those plays. Do they get overshadowed?
All of those guys played in the NFL in the offensive line. David Thomas, Lima Swede, Quan Cosby. You just go on and on. What a great football team. Jamal Charles. It was one of the great football games in the history of college football simply because there were some great players out on that field that competed throughout the night.
You came back when the BCS made its rotation and the national championship returned to Pasadena 4 years later, but the big number was 5. After 5 plays, Colt McCoy went out with an arm injury. He was not able to go. Alabama ends up winning the national championship. At this point in time, what game do you think about more? Do you think about winning the national championship or what could have been with Colt McCoy healthy?
Well, I go back and look at both because one of the great moments in my life for coaching, one of the great moments in Texas history is to see what Vince Young and that football team did in the '06 Rose Bowl for the national championship. We felt like to win 2 national championships over a 5-year period would be very, very special. We thought everything was set up. We had the great game plan. Colt's the winningest quarterback in the history of college football at this time. And all I thought is that Alabama got cheated a little bit. I know we got cheated, and fans got cheated across the country because I really think the game against Alabama could have been very much like the one against USC.
What did you learn about your team in that environment, though? Because there was that situation late in the game. You guys had the ball down by 3, and those Alabama fans, they were shocked. They were trying to figure out what was going on.
I thought it was very much like last weekend against Brigham Young. When you're in trouble, you go back. I think we've won 17 of the last 18 games when it's down to 3 points or less. We got smart players. We got tough players. They know how to win, and they continue to compete throughout the ball game. And we're probably going to need some of that out at the Rose Bowl again this weekend.
Well, you said you have smart players, you have tough players, also have a lot of young players. We're going to get to that as game plan rolls on as the Texas Longhorns head back to Pasadena. The offense really taking flight, literally and figuratively, with freshmen at the controls. What can the first road trip mean to this team? Welcome back to Game Plan with Mack Brown. This is the schedule for the Horns over the next 5 weeks. First road trip of the season coming up on Saturday at UCLA. You can see that on ABC or ESPN. Off week after that, then it is to Iowa State before the Red River rivalry against the Oklahoma Sooners. And again, it's about a month from the last time they played until they'll play again at home, October 15th against the high-flying Oklahoma State Cowboys. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Loa Galindo here with the head coach, Mack Brown. We know you have a young team. For a lot of them, their first opportunity to go on the road with the team like this. What can this experience mean? The first time you hit the road as far as bringing a team together for future success the rest of the season?
We've shown we can win at home. We beat Rice pretty handily. We came from a 13-point deficit to beat Brigham Young in the fourth quarter. Last year, we didn't respond very well in the second half of the UCLA game, down 13-3. So and this was a 13-3 game at halftime, so it was really easy to talk to the guys about here's where we were last year, and we didn't handle it well. Now we're back. Let's respond well and get this second half. Now they know to win all the games, you have to win on the road. Everybody says it's tougher to win on the road than it is at home. Great challenge for us this week. We've had a challenging out-of-conference schedule with Rice, Brigham Young, and now UCLA. And it's a great break for us because we can say, Saturday night, these three are over. Out-of-conference games are over. Let's take a week to catch our breath and prepare for Iowa State. We go back on the road again. We play on grass Saturday, where we've been on turf for the first two. We play on grass at Iowa State. We'll play on grass in Dallas when we play Oklahoma, and they talk about that being our home game this year. It's really not a home game for either one. When you split it down the middle, it is split down the middle, and then you come back for Oklahoma State. So our guys know this will be the end of the first season for us because we usually divide it up. We'll have a chance to correct some things, a very needed open date next week, correct some things, get healed up mentally and physically, get a little rest, and then get ready to go to Ames, Iowa.
Well, there's a lot of things you mentioned, like the playing surface that you don't think about every day. So let's get into some of those things that maybe you don't talk about every day when it comes to road trips. Take your pick. When it comes to your seating, does Mack Brown prefer the aisle or the window?
Oh, I like the window. I like to see what's going on. I can see inside and outside if I'm in the window. I don't like the aisle.